Hello everyone, welcome to the ITILS Academy. Today we are going to discuss the topic that is your introduction or an overview of chemical process industry and primary raw material. Okay, so here what should we are going to do? We are going to see the introductive part. We are going to discuss about the chemical process chemical process which occur inside the industry which occur inside the industry, okay, and raw material used in that chemical industry. Okay, suppose that what we have a reactant A or B. This is our raw materials. Okay, this is our raw materials. Okay, now this raw materials, this A or B combined together and then a product are formed that is called a AB. AB is what? AB is a product. So this is called a what? This is called a chemical reaction. This is called a chemical reaction or sorry, chemical process. Like when A or B are combined together, then AB is formed. So in today lecture, what should we are going to do? We are going to discuss about the different chemical process which are occur inside the industry and the primary raw material which are used in that chemical process for the manufacturing of the process. So let's start today's lecture. That is your introduction and overview of the chemical process industry and primary raw materials. Okay, the chemical process industry. Okay, so we all know that chemical process inside the industry included a manufacturing facilities. Okay, and that means that whose product are either result from a different chemical reaction between the organic materials or inorganic materials. Okay, suppose that what happened, some organic material react with the organic material, or organic material react with inorganic material, or inorganic material react with the organic material. Then this is called what? This is called a chemical process. Okay, like different extraction process, separation, purification. Okay, this will all come under the category of this chemical process. Even the preparation of the formulate mixture of the material, either the preparation of the specially. Now the third point is that the preparation of specially formulated mixtures with the help of the minerals. Okay, and these materials is either natural or synthetic. Now see what is written in a slide. The chemical process industry, which include those manufacturing process facilities whose product really result from chemical reaction between the organic material or inorganic material, or both extraction, separation, purification of a natural product with or without the aid of chemical reactions, the preparation of specially formulated mixture of materials, either natural or synthetic. Now the next one is your if we talk about some example of the chemical process which are occur in different industry, like your plastic industry, resins, dyes, pharmaceuticals. Okay, this is pharmaceuticals, plastic, resins, dye, pharmaceuticals, paint, soap, detergent, petrochemicals, perfumes, inorganic and synthetic organic materials. Many of these process which involve a number of unit operation of chemical engineering, which totally depend upon the definition of the plant as well as such basic chemical reaction. Okay, so this reaction this chemical reaction are totally depend upon the how the plants define and how the basic chemical reactions occur, like your polymerization, oxidation, reduction, hydrogenation, and all like that. Okay, now the next one is your, if we talk about the value or in a global way, the value of this chemical industry is around 1.5 trillion. Okay, and this 1.5 trillion is according to the US dollar. Okay, that is more than 70,000 commercial product, and the total world trade in chemical value is around US dollar 400 billion, which is the 10% of the value of global trade. Okay, so see what is written in a slide. The global chemical industry is valued at a half trillion US dollar today, with more than 70,000 commercial products. The total trade in chemical is valued at US dollar 400 billion, 10% of the value of global trade. Okay, now the next is the large. There are three largest sector within a world. Chemical industry are petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, performance chemical. Petrochemicals dominate the global chemical industry with the share of 30%, which are followed by a pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is around 16.5%, and performance chemicals are around 16%. The European Union, the United States, and the Germany are the three largest manufacturers, followed by Japan, France, and United Kingdom, Italy, and other Asian countries. However, there has been a significant shift in a global demand for chemicals from industrialized to developing nation, and the movement of basic chemical manufacturing from industrialized region to Asia Pacific and China. Now the next is the chemical industry as a whole make a massive contribution to welfare and employment around the world. Okay, so this chemical industry also contribute in a welfare, and it also give a employment to the worker in around whole world. the Euro, the European Union is the world largest chemical producer. Okay, if we talk, if we said that this European Union, then it is what? It is the world largest chemical producer, accounting for nearly third of the estimated world production. Okay, so this come in the third place. Like this is your European Union in a world production. Throughout the European Union, about 1.7 million people are employed in some 25,000 of chemical companies. Okay, so if we talk about in a person, then around 1.7 million people are employed in a 25 around 25,000 of chemical companies in a European Union, and the industry provide further employment in a broad range of downstream industries. Okay, now the US chemical, petrochemical, and pharmaceutical industries together had more than 13,000 establishments, which are more than 1 million employee, and total value of shipment worth approximately US dollar 4069.9 billion. Okay, and it also many of the Asian and Latin American countries have grown rapidly and have become a international competitor in a chemical industry. Okay, so this Asian and this Latin American countries are also grow in the chemical industry and become a international competitor. Consequently, the global chemical industry is among the most competitive industry in the world, being an intermediate input industry. The chemical industry has both forward and backward linkage with other segment of the manufacture sector, thereby acting as a precursor for the good performance of the manufacture sector as a whole. Now, development of the chemical industry. Okay, so if we take a trace of the oldest chemical industry, then we will found that if we talk about the middle age, okay, then they were primarily based on the what they will means that this chemical industry are totally based on the knowledge and skill in producing candles, soap, paints, and medicaments. Okay, so older traces of this chemical industry is totally what they have a totally based on a knowledge and skill for the production of candles, soap, and paints and medicaments. Okay, now this manufacturing these products are started very beginning, like homemade, and they also fulfill the need of the more than one household. Okay, now this chemical production in a industry base, it totally started in the late 70s. Okay, which remain very small because they have a very small manufacturing unit, and they have capability for continual and larger production. Okay, so the evolution of what we known as a modern chemistry started more recently. Okay, so the modern era of this chemical industry are started very recently. Now see what is written in a slide. The oldest traces of chemical industry were found in a Middle Age, and they were primarily based on the knowledge and skill in the production in producing candle, soap, paint, and medicaments. Manufacturing these products at very beginning was homemade affair that aimed to fulfill the need of just one or more household. Chemical production came of age as an industry in the late 70s, but it remained small because many of the manufacturers did not have the capability for continual and larger production. These evolution of what we known as a modern chemical industry started more recently. Okay, now the next is your this started around 19th and 20th century. You can mark it here, 20 and uh, 19 and 20th century. Okay, now here the chemist also play a role in expanding the frontiers of knowledge in advancing medicines and industry, and creating such products such as aspirin, synthetic polymer, and rubber. Okay, so around 19th and 20th century, chemists play an important role for the expanding of this chemical industry, and they also enhance their knowledge about the medicines and industry by creating the different product like your aspirin and synthetic polymers and rubbers. Okay, then this discovery the first synthetic dye discovery and moi in the will occur in 1860. It is occurred by a W.H. Perkin, who proved to be instrumental in the evolution of the organic chemical industry in the United Germany. The dawn of the 20th century brought fundamental changes, mainly as a result of the emphasis on research on the applied aspect of the chemistry in Germany and United States. Entrepreneurs took full advantage of the increasing scientific knowledge to revolutionize the chemical industry as a whole. Now the next is your if we talk about the organic chemical industry, then it should be grown in our 90s, 1940, which have result of the development of the growth and development and growth of the petroleum, refining, and petrochemical sector. Okay, see, the organic chemistry has grown at a remarkable rate since 1940, which give a result of the development and growth of the petroleum, refining, and petrochemical sector, which means that the production of the growth and the development of this petroleum, refining, and petrochemical will start in 1940s. Okay, the rapid growth of this petrochemical occurred in 1960 and 1970s was largely because of the enormous increase in the demand for a synthetic polymer. Okay, so in 1960 or 1970s, the demand of the synthetic polymers are increases, due to which the growth of this petrochemical will also increases. The chemical industry today is highly research and development. Okay, and intensive while producing the high rate of innovative, making significant contribution to the economy. Okay, now if we talk about the like today, today's century, then this chemical industry have a highly research and development. Okay, what they do, they produce a they producing a high rate of innovation, like innovations. Okay, and sorry, innovative compound, and they have also contribute to the economy. Yet the chemical industry may be regarded as as having a become a mature manufacturing industry following its rapid growth in the 1960 and 1970s, defining it is the return from the high risk and R&D investment. Moreover, many of the basic process for producing key intermediate chemical have lost their patent protection over the year, enabling other countries of the world who wish to venture into this area to buy their own manufacturing plant. Now, the next is your characteristic of the chemical industry. Now, we are going to discuss about the different categories of this chemical industry. The chemical industry are totally based upon a science based. Okay, so this chemical industry totally based upon a science. The tech which we apply in a chemical industry are established from a scientific route. Okay, and even the growth of the industry and the link of this industry from a science discovery. Okay, if we talk about this main reason, then the enormous growth of this chemical industry in the development area world has its great commitment to the investment in the R&D. Okay, and the traditional investment in the R&D also explain in a outstanding growth rate of the industry in the 20th century and its superior record of increased productivity. The industry organized application of science to industry real problem has produced a host of new product, new process, and new applications. See, the chemical industry is essentially a science-based industry. The technology apply in the chemical industry have their well established scientific root, and industry growth has been closely linked to the scientific discovery. One of the main reasons for the enormous growth of the chemical industry in the development world has been its great commitment to the investment in the R&D. The traditional investment in R&D does much to explain the outstanding growth rate of the industry in the 20th century and its superior record for increase its productivity. Now the next is your the chemical and drugs company in the United States spend around US dollar 18 billion annually on R&D. It is very important. That's why I'm going to mark here US $18 billion annually on R&D. Who? United States. Now the scientific and technical research, sorry, scientific and technical research by these industries significantly contributing in making human life safer, longer, easier, and more productivity. Okay, so it will increases the increase it sorry it will contribute significantly in making the human life very easier, and it will discuss in next table, that is 1.1, which show a chemical sales and R&D spending for a global top 10 companies in the world. Okay, now the chemical industry which produces many material that are essential for our most fundamental need for food, shelter, and health. It also produces product of great importance to the high technology world of computing, telecommunication, biotechnology. The US government uses the following 8 standard industry classification codes to the categorize chemical companies. Now here this is the 8 industrial code, that is your industrial, inorganic chemicals, plastics, materials and synthetics, drugs, soap, cleaners and toilet goods, paint and allied products, industrial organic chemicals, agricultural chemical and miscellaneous chemical products. Now the next is your now, according to there is an estimate by a U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, that is your EPA. EPA is what? Environmental Protection Agency. Environmental Protection Agency. Then, according to US EPA, there are around 50,000 chemicals are manufactured in the United. Okay. Now, here the list of the company, country and chemical sales, and the country who are spending the money in R&D. In R&D means that the research and development of the chemical. Okay, so now the first company is your Dow Chemical, and it is belong from a USA, and it is their chemical sales is around 39,632 million dollar, and they will spend in R&D around 981 millions dollar. Okay, so the next company is your BASF, that is belong from a Germany, and their chemical sale is around 30,768 millions dollar, and they spend in R&D around 904.1 millions dollar. Okay, so Degussa is a sorry Degussa now miss like this is your Shell is a company which is belong from a UK, and they their chemical sale is around 15,186 millions dollar millions, and they will not any means not applicable. Okay, means that the data is not present. How much money they are spending in a R&D, their data is not present. So here the list of the company according to their rank and from which country they are belong, and how much their chemical sales and how much they spend on the R&D. Now the next is your state in a quantities greater than a 10,000 pounds. The organic chemical industry, which manufacture carbon containing chemical, account for much of this diversity. Now, the chemical industry has been undertaken by many different type of companies, largest because of its central role in industry. Chemical products are made from our raw materials. This raw material are supplied by a large number of different industry, which include petroleum, agriculture and mines product. In turn, chemicals themselves are used as a raw material in almost of other type of the manufacturing. Production of the chemical is thus attractive to the companies that are seeking to upgrade their low value feedstock. Feedstock means the chemical, the raw material which is required for an industrial process to a profitable chemical product. Petroleum company in particular are increases acquiring leading position in the organic chemical industry. Of the top 10 leading producers listed in table 1.1 that we already discussed, for are petroleum companies including Total, Exxon Mobil, BP and Shell Oil. They are what they are petroleum companies. Now the next is your raw material with manufacturing and engineering. So we all know that industrial chemistry procure a raw material from a natural environment to convert them into a intermediate, which is subsequently serve as a basic material to every other kind of industry. Okay, now these they have a four natural sources for their raw material. Okay, first one is your earth crust, that is your lithosphere. Marine and ocean environment, that is your hydrosphere. Okay, air, that is your atmosphere, and plant from biosphere. Here it is means that the chemical industry, what they do, they get their raw material from a natural source. Now this raw material will be converted into an intermediate, and which subsequently serve as a base material to every other kind of the industry. Okay, and there are four sources of the natural environment, like earth crust that belongs from a lithosphere, marine and ocean environment, hydrosphere, air, atmosphere, and plant biosphere. Now the next is your raw material, which are derived from all above natural sources, are classified as either renewable or non-renewable resources. Okay, so here the differences between the renewable or non-renewable resources, we all know that renewable are those which regenerate themselves, like your agriculture, forest, fishery, wildlife. Okay, and non-renewable are those which are not uh, regenerate themselves, and they are for a long period of time. Okay, now see what is written in a slide. Raw material derived from the above natural sources are classified as either renewable or non-renewable. Renewable resources are those that regenerate themselves, such as agricultural, forestry, fishery, wildlife product, if the rate at which they are consumed becomes so great that it derives these resources to a exhaustion. However, these renewable resources can become a non-renewable. It is very important that, okay, if the exertion of this renewable resources take a longer time, then it also become a non-renewable. Non-renewable resources are those that are formed over a longer period of time. They include metals, minerals, and organic material. Okay, so here the renewable can generate themselves. Okay, and this non-renewable resources take a longer time for the formation. Now the next is your renewable resources, like your agriculture materials, were the main source of raw material unit the early part of the 20th century for the manufacturing of soap, paint, ink, lubricate, greases, paper, cloth, drugs, and other chemical products. Okay, this renewable resources, like your agriculture material, are the main sources of the raw material for the production of the soap, paint, ink, lubricate, greases, paper, cloth, drugs, and other type of the chemical product in a 20th century. The non-renewable feedstock based on a fossil fuel was added as an alternate resources in the latter part of the 20th. This result was firstly because of the development of the products such as synthetic fiber, plastic, synthetic oil, petrochemical. Then because of great advances in a catalysis polymer science, the use of petroleum gas and oil has increased during the past 30 years, which give a result of complete changeover from a coal to petroleum technology. Now, the next is your recent scientific and technical development in biotechnology. However, are beginning of shift the balance back in the direction of renewable raw material. According to a high level of US Federal Advisory Commission suggestion, the production of chemical and material from bio-based feedstock will increase rapidly from today 5% level to 12% in 2010, 18% in 2020, and 25% in 2030. It is the estimate of two-thirds of the US dollar 1.5 trillion global um, chemical industry can eventually based on our renewable biosources, thus replacing petroleum and natural gas as a feedstock. The renewable raw material are being used to solve our environmental problem, in that the product made from them generally are more readily biodegradable and less toxic. The certain offer potentially to contribute to emission reduction in variety of ways, unlike those that are petroleum petroleum based renewable raw material do not contribution in a carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and increasingly important concern with the respect to a climate change and global warming. Now the next is your, because every industry chemical process is designed to economically produce a desired product from a variety of raw material. Okay, so what is the main objective of this chemical industry? Okay, so they have designed their process so that they will convert the raw material into a product they have produced a economic product. Okay, this economically extraction use of exploitable raw material are the essential prerequisite for a chemical industry. These raw material usually have to be pre-treated. This may be undergo a number of steps which involve a physical treatment, chemical reaction, separation, purification before their conversion into a desired product. This is your A, this is your B, it is converted into a AB, but this whole process also involves some like physical treatment, chemical reaction, even the separation, purification. Then after that it will convert it into this A, B. Now figure 1.1 that in the which is in the next slide show a typical structure of the process. See, this is your raw material. Then here a physical treatment, chemical reaction, separation and purification. Okay, then product. Okay, so this figure, the organic chemical industry which requires raw material from the renewable, non-renewable sources and sell this product either as a finished material or as an intermediate for a further processing. Okay, so either this product are considered as a final product or sell as it is, or either it will consider as a intermediate. The two major step in chemical manufacturing, first is your chemical reaction and the second one is your purification of the reaction products. Okay, now the next is your, the primary type of chemical reaction are either batch or continuous. In batch reaction, the reactant chemical are added to the reactor. Okay, in a batch reaction, the reactant chemical, the chemical which are reacted are added into a reactor, that is your reaction vessel. At the same time, and product are impeded completely when the reaction is finished. Okay, and the reactor are made up of stainless steel or glass lint, carbon steel, and the size of this reactor is around 200 to a several thousand liter. Okay, this batch reactor also have a stirrer for the mixing of the reactant, and they have a insulating jacket and appropriate pipes and valve which control the reaction conditions. Okay, so this is about the batch reaction or batch reactor. Now the next is your, this batch process are also used as a small scale production. Okay, so this batch process are used for a small scale production. This process are easier to operate, maintain and repair. The batch equipment can be adopted to a multiple uses, but this continuous process, in this process, the reactant are added and the product are removed at the constant rate. Suppose that here, what should we do? We added the reactant and here we remove the product. But in a batch process, what should we do? We add a whole amount of reactant and after that we wait for the production of the product, then we remove it, then again we add a reactant. But in a continuous process, one side we added the product, we added the raw material or reactant, and on the other side we get a product, so that the volume of the reacting material in the reactor remain constant. Okay, so that's why the volume of this reacting material on a reactor will be constant. The organic chemical industry uses and generate both large number and large quantity of wide variety of solvent metal particulates, acid vapors, and unreacted monomers. These chemicals are released to all media like air, water, and land, and the potential source of pollutant output by a media, which we'll discuss in the table 1.2 in the further slide. As a result of public awareness of danger of the chemicals in the environment, the chemical industry is one of the most highly regulated of all industry. The regulation are intended to protect and improve the health, safety, and environment of the public as well as the worker. Current large expenditure of for a population control in the developed world reflect mainly the intervention of the government with a strict law. In the United States, these laws are enforced by a EPA, Federal Registration on Air and Water Pollution Control in the United States, provide a guideline and training for the person in both private industry and the government agencies. Okay, and the EPA has found that the US industry effort in finding way to reduce both the volume and toxicity of its waste have resulted in a substantial decreases in a manufacturing cost and an improvement in the production yield while compiling with the government regulation. Now the next is the biggest global organic chemical companies have been promoting pollution prevention through our various means. Some companies have created pollution prevention technique that improve the efficiency and increase our profit while minimizing the environmental impact. This is done in many ways, such as reducing the material input, re-engineering process to reuse byproduct, improving management practices, and substituting chemical for a toxic one. Some smaller facilities are able to actually get yellow regulatory threshold just by reducing the pollutant which are released through our aggressive pollution prevention policies. Okay, now this is your table which have give knowledge about a potential release during a organic chemical manufacturing. This is your media, this is your potential source for emission, like your air source. Air is what? Air is a point source of emission, stack when laboratory hood, distillation unit, reactor, storage tank, etc. Okay, so here the table that give information about it. The best way to reduce the pollution is to study way of preventing it at the research and development stage. At this stage, all possible reaction pathway for the producing the desired product can be examined. These can be evaluated in the light of yield undesirable by the product and their impact on the health and environment. In general, changes made at the research and development stage will have a greatest impact. So this is all about the today's lecture. I hope you will understand. If you have any query related to this topic, you can ask me in a comment box, or for a further query you can you can follow the ITLS Academy on different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and subscribe our channel ITLS Academy on YouTube and get our app from a Google Play. Or for further query, you can ask your query to that helpline number that are already mentioned in your slide, or visit our website www.itlsacademy.com. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel.